Welcome to the Growth Minded Accountant podcast, where our experts will share best practices on running your firm in the digital age. This podcast is brought to you by CountingWorks Pro. Let's get started.
Welcome back to another episode of the Growth Minded Accountant podcast. My name is Reams, and I am your host today. So if you're listening to this in the middle of tax season, you're probably feeling it right now. Long days, too many emails, chasing clients, chasing documents, right? No shows on calendar appointments. And somewhere in your head, you're probably thinking, hey, there's got to be a better way to do this. And the good news for all of you is you're right. And that's going to be the topic of what I'm going to talk about today in today's GMA. So here's the shift. Tax season isn't the time to overhaul everything. You're obviously not going to make changes in March, but it's time to start seeing everything clearly. And I really want you to start kind of noting down, perhaps journaling, where are the bottlenecks? Where are the big problems? So tax season is by far your highest volume, highest pressure, and most importantly, honest environment. And under this pressure, your systems, they don't hide things that, may have worked in October of last year or June or December. They start breaking in March and April, right? And when they break, they show you exactly where your opportunities lie. So not to react, but to redesign. Okay. So instead of trying to figure things out now, start documenting them. Okay. Every time you say, I wish I wasn't doing this manually, write it down, make your notes. And this way it's going to help you a lot after April 15th to start to kind of circle back and say, okay, well, what do I need to look at? What do I need to change? So let's talk a little bit about AI. There's a lot of noise out there right now. Every time Claude makes it, Claude is the new, favorite in the media. So anytime they have a new release, the world is ending, and you have people out there, talking heads, that are telling you that everyone's going to be replaced. Youth unemployment is going to be 30%, and so on and so on. And then you got others that say, hey, it's useless, right? It makes too many errors. And the honest truth is right there somewhere in the middle, right? So, and I'm actively in the middle of this battle. We have been working and investing on AI technology for several years now. And I am a true believer, but I also see where AI struggles. And that's where I mean the truth is somewhere in the middle. So multi-step accounting logic, complex judgment calls, consistency across financial data, right? And that's where we're seeing right now, even regulators and firms being cautious about how it's used in areas like legal and tax advice. So AI today is powerful, but it's not something you hand the keys to. It's great at execution, but inconsistent at judgment. And in this profession, obviously, judgment is your product. That is what you're delivering to your client base. So if AI isn't the magic solution, what is it? And I look at it right now, at least in the next window of 1 to 2 years, it's labor, and especially in a profession that has huge shortages. You're working longer hours than ever. I think a lot of this technology can really supplant that and make you very powerful. And I think it can help a solopreneur, perform like a three-person firm. So I'm going to talk a little bit of how that is happening now. And things are changing fast, right? I'm seeing this firsthand because we're building in that space right now. So we just rolled out our first AI communication agent, and it is basically a labor replacement or supplement. It can automatically draft responses to client inquiries. So think of it this way, overnight you get 5, 10 inbound messages or questions from clients in your client hub or your client portal. Our AI tools can automatically do the research. They can draft a response in your tone, your voice, your personality. More importantly, it can take context that it knows about that client from previous tax returns, their intake forms, for example, any notes that you've made about that client, and actually draft ready to send responses that you can just review, approve, make a change, and send. I mean, and already think about that. You're more responsive, which is important, but B, think about how much time you're saving. And then our agent will start handling follow-up, scheduling, and more. And what this means to you is a solo firm can operate like a team. A three-person firm can produce like a 6 or 7 person firm. And this is not by replacing people, but by removing the work that people shouldn't be doing in the first place. At least that's my point of view. So the real difference here that most people miss, generic AI tools without context are not enough. Okay. AI without context is just guessing. And you can't let AI just kind of run the show. You need to provide it insight. You need to provide it context to make it actually work. So, systems that understand your firm, your clients, the history, right? Your data, your tone. What is your firm all about? How do you guys write? Are you friendly, professional, legalistic, right? That's where AI can become very useful. And that's when it starts to feel part of your team. Now between, what is it, March 18th, it's a Wednesday, and April 15th, just pay attention to these areas. And these are what I look at. Onboarding, where are you chasing clients for information right now? Data handling, where are you manually entering or rereading data? AI is great at scraping documents now. It's great at summarizing. It's great at adding, almost creating like a mini binder for you, right? Communication. How many times are you answering the same question over and over again? How much time are you spending researching a specific client question, right? How long does it take to respond to that client question, with confidence in that research side? So if any of these are manual, there's your opportunity. And those are opportunities to really save hours per day and really multiplies the amount of work you can do. So tax season isn't when I would start fixing everything, but it's when you see what is worth fixing. So don't get ahead of your skis, the way I look at it. Keep your list, because the worst investment you can make after tax season is solving the wrong problem, maybe following the hype, maybe acting emotionally, believing in some of these things, some of these promises these tools are making. The way I look at it is AI is a great intern, but a dangerous decision maker. And that's really where you come through. So I hope I wanted to do this episode now. I just want people to start thinking through, before tax season ends, what are the areas I can really move the needle? What are areas that I can become more efficient, handle more bandwidth, and be able to do a better job for my clients? So that's a wrap for this session of the Growth Minded Accountant podcast. Let's get back to work. You're almost there. I'll keep these short and finish up tax season strong. Thanks again for being a subscriber and listener to the Growth Minded Accountant podcast.